Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamid.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebastillo.
I'm Dani Acuña.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice of beer.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldons.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
It's your turn.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and more.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC ignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC ignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras. Welcome to episode 7 of Mental Shift. good evening to the US and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Before I bring on my guest tonight, I would love to share a little video about what he does with Gary Barnes International.
Hi, I'm Gary Barnes International, and I just wanted to ask you a question. If you're like me, this year has felt like one of the Rocky movies. You know, where Rocky said, hit me again, I can take it. Hit me again, I can take it. We have all had many ups and downs and had adjustments. And with the Breakthrough Business Mastery Bootcamp, we're doing adjustments as well. Right now, we are designing to where you can be in person with us, and we're going to be also simulcasting. We're going to be doing a live stream of the event. So if you're not able to come in person, we're going to be able to include you. We're looking for how to do some really special things this year, just because we are so pent up with energy. We need to be able to have a way to release it. And then because of all of the great information that we're going to be sharing, and I have some new information and new speakers for you as well, that you're going to be able to take that information and apply it within the situation we have now, dealing with all of these different circumstances that we have. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next Breakthrough Business Mastery Bootcamp, in person or online.
Doesn't that sound like a lot of fun? I've attended Gary's boot camps for a few years now, and I wanted to bring that to all of you so you had an opportunity to join it. Now, we'll talk more about it during the show, but Gary is known as the Breakthrough Business Mastery Coach. He's a high-performance business and sales strategist, a popular national, international speaker. He's done over 1,000 talks, and I think there's far more than 1,000, and an award-winning #1 international Amazon best-selling author, and he has 9 books. And so I wanted to bring my friend Gary here to share him with all of you because he's quite special in my world. So please welcome my dear friend, Gary Barnes.
Well, hi, Michelle. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
I'm so glad you joined me. I mean, I know so much on you. Maybe we can have fun. No.
It can go both ways.
I know. That's why I'm like, no, never mind. But tell us about the Breakthrough Business Mastery Bootcamp, because it's coming up very quickly, but you are doing it also a live stream so people can still sign up. And I wanted to talk more about what happens at the bootcamp during the first half of the show. And then in the second half, get more into what makes Gary Gary. And then, that kind of thing. So Breakthrough Business Mastery Bootcamp, how did that come about? And what do you help business owners and entrepreneurs work through?
You know, it's a great question because I never really planned on doing events. I frankly ran out of time. And so it was one of those decisions, how could I impact more people? And obviously it was going to be from stage and allowing people to hear me in multiple settings. And so the one that's coming up is actually this weekend, and it's number 39. Wow. So we have been doing them for a while. But, there's some secrets, we call them secrets, but things that we have designed and I have used in my businesses that we are now sharing in the bootcamp so people can get similar, if not duplicated results. And we designed it in such a way, and you're so good at this because you're the mindset person. Day one is Foundation Day, and that is all the psychological and emotional aspects of building a successful business. And I really believe that 80% of success in a business is psychological and emotional. And then day 2 and 3 are all of the strategies, techniques, elements that I have used and created in order to build my businesses. And so we've designed it to be content driven, to where it's not one of those programs where you're being made an offer every few minutes and it's not a buy my stuff. It really is something that changes lives. And that's the whole idea, is to be able to allow people to have this information so that on Monday, coming up right after the boot camp, they can implement it and get a result quickly. And that's really, you've actually been a speaker on my stage for the last 2 or 3 years. And so you've been able to see what happens from the stage in the audience that we bring in from all over the world and throughout the U.S.
Exactly. And that's why you're here, because I wanted to share you with the rest of the world, because that's what happens with the boot camp is I went into the boot camp as an entrepreneur. That was about all I knew. Hello, Helene. Thank you so much for joining us. But I came into the boot camp thinking I was one thing. And then after sitting in the audience for a bit, I went, I don't know what I am anymore. And then towards the end of the day, I think the second day, you called me up and had me help in the boot camp. And I discovered a talent that I didn't realize was a talent. I thought it was everybody could do what I could do. So what's the big deal? And Gary is one of the people who made me realize that I'm very observant. I'm a speaker coach person. I'm very good at reading and seeing someone else's talk, condensing it and moving it together. I've always thought everyone could do that. And it wasn't until I met Gary that he turned that light bulb on me that made me realize there's more to it than just listening. I've got a gift about it. And I now apply it to everything. And it's quite exciting to be able to realize something I thought was effortless. What did you say? What you think is ordinary?
Other people see as extraordinary.
Yes. So audience, listen to that. What in your life do you think is so ordinary that anybody else can do it? And it's not a big deal. You can do it just so without even thinking about it. That's your gift. And it took me meeting Gary after years of all these things I've been doing. It took me sitting in Gary's room for a day to realize, wait a minute. What I thought was ordinary really is extraordinary. It has shifted my world. The other thing that I learned, and can I give this away?
Sure.
Can I talk about it?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. What I found through all my years of coaching is that so many of us, and poor Gary, I'm going to take I'll let you in a minute. So many of us have a lid, right, Gary? We have a lid in our minds of money. And we limit ourselves without realizing we're limiting ourselves. This is the other thing I learned at the boot camp. And so if you're not going to the boot camp, this is a little tiny piece, just a teeny tiny piece. If you are going to the boot camp, forget I said this.
They will.
When he asked us to stand up and say some things, what we wanted. And a lot of us would stand up and say, I want to make more money. He handed us more money. If you can see this, it's a penny. It's an American penny. So congratulations, you made more money. Mission accomplished. You don't have to do anything else. And I remember sitting in the room doing, oh my gosh, I had never realized something that simple with that mind shift, that mental shift of more money was not specific enough. How did you discover that, Gary? What made you come up with that? Because I have several of them. I have one from every boot camp I've ever gone to, because I leave them in different places, like in my purse and my backpack for my computer. I leave them so I remember when I limit myself.
It's an interesting question because everything that I teach is out of my own experience. And so this is proprietary to me. But as you ask that question, I go back to when I first got married. And I didn't know that for the same amount of money that I took my wife to a cabin in the mountains, I could have taken her on a cruise. And that limitation, because I didn't see myself as someone that went on a cruise, or I didn't see myself in a particular monetary, because I told my mother when I was young I wanted to be I was going to be a millionaire, and she goes, no, you can't, because you have to be a crook to be a millionaire. And I'm going, okay, well that's really wonderful. But as I started looking at everything that I had done in my life and some of the situations that I had found myself in, it was all around limiting beliefs that really stopped me. I call it lose the weight of the mind, LBS, limiting beliefs. And so what was it? Was it Napoleon Hill that said, whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve? Mm-hmm. And it really is true. Everything that we're using right now was at one point a thought in someone's mind of saying, let's create this. And money is no different than a computer, of a camera, of a microphone. It's just something that we use as an exchange for something else that we find that we would like and desire in our life. And so when I started looking at doing the penny, it was so, it's not the amount, it's just the idea that I've already accomplished what I said. So what specifically do I want? We're not used to really responding with the specifics, because the biggest negative beliefs that I have found working with people around the world is I don't deserve. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's a belief that's been given to us. It's not something that we were born with.
And that's a shame, but that's what's so magical about when I've met you is the things that I realized. I'm a mindset person. That's what I deal with. And as a coach always needs a coach. And so you were one of my mentors. You're one of the people that would see the holes in what my thought processes were. And so that's why I wanted you to come on to Mental Shift, because there are other coaches out there who do, I've got this. Okay, I messed up, but I got this. What I want to let you know is in order to grow as a coach, you need a coach. You need someone who can see beyond what you can see and see the holes that you don't see. Gary saw my penny. It was such a simple thing, but that penny has catapulted my career because I don't see me the way I used to see me because of a penny. So just kind of FYI, you can go to Gary's website and look up the boot camp because it is coming up this week. You can still jump on and go on as a virtual attendee. Yes. And you still get all the handouts. You still get to participate. It's interactive, where they stop and let people talk from online, and they ask questions from the audience virtually and everywhere. Everywhere. In room and out room. Thank you so much, Helene. I appreciate your support. Oh, thank you, Apple. So, anyways, I wanted to share this with you because Gary's very special, and he's got a big heart, and he wants everyone to prosper. He's got quite the story, and if I can I go in that already? Oh, wait. I said I'm going to do the boot camp. We're staying in the boot camp. The other thing about the boot camp that I wish one day you could come out and see virtually is the breakthrough part of the breakthrough business mastery. We have a karate man. He's a 9th degree, right?
8th degree Taekwondo champion.
Yes, and so he comes, and you saw that in the video where there was a young lady who broke her hand through a board. It's not just a board. Gary talks about limiting beliefs, and he talks about what you want, and you write one on one side, you write the other thing on the other side, and you announce it to the universe and then break through it. I have to share this because this show, Mental Shift on TNC, is one of the things I wrote on one of my earlier boards that I was going to do. I said, I want an international platform show. I don't know, it's not a podcast because it's video. And I wrote it. I want an international platform show where and this is it. So when Apple and Lloyd, are the creators of TNC, approached me and said, do you want a show? I went, yes, because I broke through that board 2 years ago. And so here it is. And not only is it here, but it's back to my home country. I'm from the Philippines. So it was like a double bonus that I always say I want to go home, and I wanted this show. I broke through the board at the boot camp, and here I am on a show, not quite the Philippines, but tied. And that is a big deal for me. That's a heart thing for me. And that's why I asked you. Another reason I asked you to come on the show is because the boot camp opened far more than anyone else can absolutely understand.
You did something else. You said something really special just now. Is when you were offered the show, you said immediately yes. And it goes back to a concept that I teach around called the power of yes. But you said yes before that. You said yes coming to the boot camp. You said yes when I called you out from being an attendee to being a celebrity in your own right in the event, and became one of the speaker coaches basically in the room. I was actually referring you to people in the room before I even knew you, but you were saying yes all the way along. Mm-hmm. And that's something that many people think, well, you just got lucky because you got that big, all of a sudden, opportunity. But your luck was that you've been saying yes for a very long time, even before you came to the boot camp. But since I've known you, I've seen those yeses that you've said. And that just, I'm so happy for you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Gary. And one day we'll have lunch together again when it's not snowing. It is snowing in Colorado. Well, there's just so much that happens at the boot camp, and I really hope that you can join on to it and do at least the virtual version of it, and then one day come out to the U.S. and see beautiful Colorado and attend live. But the virtual, you'll get so much. I mean, I've been part of the virtual too, so it's quite the experience, and there's a lot of technology involved, but it doesn't matter. It's seamless to all of the attendees. And what do I want to say to you now, Gary? Okay. I have it. Gary has a story, just like me. When I tell you I have a story where I've overcome some major things, and then it helped me see the world a little differently. And before we go on our first break, I want Gary to give a bit of his story. Do we have the image of his book? It's called A Beaver Saved My Life.
How a Beaver Saved My Life.
How a beaver. There it is. And at the boot camp, we always have a very large beaver. Gary, can you please explain?
Well, and it's actually big and little Buddy Beaver that you see on the cover of the book. And back in 1988, I had one of those obstacles that we talk about in life where I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and was told that I would be dead or in a wheelchair within 10 years. And as you can tell, if you're doing the math, I'm on bonus time now because Thanksgiving, for the American Thanksgiving, this last one was year 32 of the diagnosis. And the book came about because right when I was diagnosed, I had a business that if my clients thought that a doctor had told me that I would be no longer on the planet, they wouldn't want to invest with me. I owned one of the largest financial planning firms as a solo producer in the US. And so I didn't tell anybody. And about 17 years ago, I sold the practice, and the people started wanting to know about the book, and it really changed my life, because this is another area where, Michelle, I just mentioned, what I think is ordinary, other people see as extraordinary. And that book has opened up the world to me, from a TEDx talk to being on PBS, all the major networks here in the US. And there's other pieces of the story, but I'm not sure how much time you really want to delve into this. So I'll throw it back to you.
Okay. Well, we will touch back into your book, because you have 9 books. Okay. And so we'll go to the break. And when we come back from break, we'll dive more into you, because I want people to realize you aren't just the breakthrough business mastery coach and da-da-da-da. Gary's a good man who cares and wants to see people grow. And I want you to meet the Gary that I know and love. So we will break into the commercial, and we'll be right back. So Gary, don't leave me, okay?
Okay.
Well, welcome back. Well, if you just noticed that commercial, that is the 5 Levels of Crisis and Strategic Management course coming out of Africa. And because of the COVID happening, we brought this straight virtual. And you have the ability to go to the Star Ministries website and join along. So northernstarministries.org, and learn about the strategic and crisis management and how to get through things and how to prepare for crisis in the future. Now that I'm done with that, please welcome back my friend, Gary.
I'm still here.
You're still here. You didn't run away.
I didn't.
Now, Gary, there is so much about you that I want to share, and I don't want to go too far, but I really do. Okay, because Gary and I have this other bond. We both like to move very, very fast, and we both like to do things that other people wouldn't think we would. One of the things I'd like to share, and I wish we had the video, I just thought of it. Gary puts things on his bucket list of things to do, and then he does it. One of the things that I've been so jealous, and one of these days I'm going to do it, is that fighter plane. Can you explain what happened with that, how that came about, and what did it feel like?
Well, I have always loved airplanes. And I remember as a kid, my dad was a pilot. He crashed 2 airplanes, which is not a good record to have, but he walked away from both of them. But I just always had a love for airplanes, and especially the fighter planes of World War II. And so when I had a chance to fly a P-51 World War II fighter, I made the decision to go do it. I flew to Florida. I wrote a check and flew Crazy Horse, a World War II fighter, did all of the acrobatics, the twists, the turns, and it's a 3-camera shoot. And if you do attend, even virtually for the boot camp, I do show a short clip of that flight. But it was, again, something that really connects to that power of yes. Because I'm not a thrill seeker, really. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I go for the memory, the adventure. And that's where Michelle and I really connect, is that, when we put something down, it's not just having it to be a dream of somehow, if I'm lucky or if somebody just blesses me to do it. It's about how to program ourselves to see the opportunity. And then going back to that, seemingly this theme for tonight is the power of yes, saying yes to yourself.
Exactly. And if you look behind Gary, he's got baseballs and pictures and footballs and airplanes. He's a collector of memories. And if you look behind me, I've got a whole bunch of books. I'm a collector of other people's memories that bring me joy. And that's one of the other things that brought us together is we dream big and we dream and are happy for other people's dreams. Now, the other thing besides the power of yes that we're talking about here today is to dream big and to dare greatly. I mean, because things that Gary and I have managed to do in our careers, other people would have said, no, that's not going to happen. Oh, you've got MS. You're not going to make it. Oh, you've got cancer and you got a brain injury. Yeah, you're not going to. We didn't listen to what the rest of the world said we can and cannot do. You choose what you will and will not do, or what you will succumb to. I like to quote Byron Katie. There are 3 businesses in the world. There's my business or my control, your business, your control, and God and the universe's business and control. And when someone gives you their verdict, their idea, it's up to you to choose how you take it. Either you can run with it and say, okay, they're right, or you can say, I don't quite like that, and move your other way. Gary and I are perfect examples of people who went, I don't like that. Is there another curtain I'd like to choose? Curtain number 3, please. And we used to make that joke a lot in the boot camp is, I don't like any one of those choices. I'd like another curtain. And really, that's what you can do in life. If you're listening right now and you're wondering, because you've got this, and this, A, B, C, and that you think you only have A, B, C, can you create D? Can you create another option? Just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it can't. Gary was told MS, limited time on planet. 30 some odd years later, he's still here encouraging and helping and growing, and he's still developing as a human, as an entrepreneur. He's still growing. He's not stagnant, and neither do you. It's up to you. Right, Gary?
Absolutely. It's owning or not owning whichever it is that you're choosing as far as a belief system. And for me, I knew that was an option, that the doctors would be right, but I chose a different option with no guarantees. Now, one of the things that I think, as we're describing the journey, if you will, is that people only have a tendency now to see all of the benefits, all of the celebrations and the achievements and the things that we have done. They haven't seen those dark times, those nights when I laid in bed going, I was numb from the neck down. I had no ability to walk. I had lost the ability to write. And with no feelings from the neck down, I still put myself into the future beyond the adversity. And the adversity can show up in so many different ways. I always say money is the greatest adversity that we can overcome, because we can actually choose a different path. But there's so many different things that, like with your situation with a 2-time cancer survivor, all the adjustments that we made. And here's the other side is Michelle and I, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And if we get rid of it's not fair, it's our situation, and look for that opportunity to take us where we say we want to go, and that goes back to the penny, is that we have to be very specific about what it is that we say we want to achieve or receive. And when we do that, opportunities will show up. Those opportunities are already there. We're just not seeing them. And that goes back to the concept around rebooting your brain for success, is allowing your brain to literally see the opportunities that right now you're not able to see.
Exactly. And Gary, you're making me want to sing real quick. Oh my goodness.
That happens.
It happens a lot. And so when I was going through mine and they were telling me I wouldn't be able to talk or walk again, I remember I was looking at the next step. The next step. I just want the next step. And if I can get the next step, then I want the next step. So I'll build a stairway to paradise with the new step every day. And so I was looking at, what can I do? Okay, I can move my foot. Okay, today I moved my foot. Tomorrow I'm going to move my hand. I'm going to touch my pinky, my pinkies into my thumb. And when I did that, I'm like, okay, if I can do that, I'm going to bend my wrist. It was one little thing at a time. And what happened is, one little thing at a time eventually became, hey, I'm walking. Whoa, what am I doing here? And so even though you might be in a bad situation, you may not be able to see the end, see the next light, see the next possibility and focus on it. Get yourself to that. And once your brain sees that you can make it to that next step, it'll let you go to the next step. And then the next. And by the time you know it, you're running.
It reminds me of a quote from Jim Rohn, that small hinges swings big doors. When we really look at it, it's those little things that we do will make a big difference later on. And, Michelle, you're so right. It's that sometimes we don't see the benefit of doing what we're doing because it's not happening fast enough. But what we want is permanence. We want to redirect our lives. And any big ship, if anybody has ever been on a ship or watched or talked to a captain, when it wants to turn, it will turn the rudder. But that ship may take 15, 20, 25 miles before it ever starts to turn. But that rudder is still doing its job. We just can't see it. It's below the waterline.
Yeah, just got to keep trucking, keep moving. Don't worry about the gigantic steps. When you were a baby and you were learning to walk, you didn't get up from a crawling position and start sprinting. We took baby steps. That's why they're called baby steps. And once you get comfortable with your baby step of a change, you can start jumping if you want. But allow yourself the baby steps.
And you fell down quite often as well. It's those when we fall, that's a learning experience. It's a foundation. And, it may sound like we're being a little bit negative right now, but the reality is there's no straight line to success. No. It's a number of twists, turns, the adversity that we find, and whatever it is that adversity takes the form of, we can overcome it. There's very few things that we can't change our attitude about. And because of that, we can tap into resources and opportunities and strengths that we didn't even know we had.
And that is the magic of possibilities. So for those of you who were with us earlier, you know what I'm about to say. For those of you who just joined us, Gary Barnes is having a Breakthrough Business Mastery Boot Camp this weekend, and you can join on as a virtual attendee by going to his website. And Gary, what's your website? The GaryBarnesInternational.com, and look for Breakthrough Business Mastery Boot Camp. And then you can click virtual and attend this weekend in Colorado.
Yes.
Virtually in Colorado.
Virtually. Be with us. We actually have 4 other countries besides the U.S. attending. And so it's a great time also to network. And a direct link would just be breakthroughbusinessmastery.com. And it takes you directly to all of the information and how to register if you'd like to attend.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gary. Because one of the jokes that we used to have is at the Breakthrough Business Mastery Boot Camp is while I was at the Breakthrough Business Mastery Boot Camp, I couldn't say it.
That's right.
And as now I can say it. That's really funny to me. And I want to say hello to Helene. She said that she is working on her dreams tonight and that you just have to believe it and you can do it. And really, that's it, Helene. Dream it, do it. It may come out differently than what you dream, but it will still be that fulfillment. So yes, dream and dream well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And this is my friend, Gary Barnes of the Breakthrough Business Mastery Boot Camp. You can find him at GaryBarnesInternational.com and check him out because he's a cool man, really nice guy. And he has a boot camp coming up this weekend. A little bit more on Gary because we're going to dig in a little bit more. We've got a few more minutes left and I want to learn more and share more about Gary. So can't go into your book because, that's your book. If they're interested, where can they find all 9 of your books?
Well, really only 3 of them are ones that I actually have out there as being attainable right now.
Okay.
The 3 most important, but they can just go to, actually, if they do howabeaversavemylife.com, but they can go to Gary Barnes International and just go to the store and all of the books are there.
Okay, because get statements. Right?
You froze. What?
Oh, I would say, we have the image for the power of the get statements?
Yeah.
If we do, good.
There it is.
That is huge. We do a lot of that at the boot camp, right, Gary? Can you give us a little example of what is a get statement or what the power of it is without giving away your book ideas?
Oh, no, it's totally okay because I want people to understand this is really how to reboot your brain for success. Because in my mind, affirmations really don't work because we're lying to ourselves. We say we are weighing X number of pounds and we look in the mirror and go, no, you're not. But the power of get statements is a future tense statement or a future tense or a future result stated in the present tense. I'll get it right. And so an example would be is I received $100,000 with $80,000 net revenue by December 31st, 2021. And don't worry about the numbers. The numbers are just numbers. So use your numbers. But its first part of that is I receive. It can come from any source. It's not that you work harder, that you get lucky. It's just a matter of receiving. And then two numbers, because in most countries there's taxes and expenses of doing business. So the big number is your gross number. The net number, the little number, is the number you get to spend. And then I receive 80,000 with or 100,000 with 80,000 net revenue by. It can happen early, and then you have a specific date, December 15th, 2021. And so it's really important to have a specific date. I was talking to one of my attendees that has come a couple of times about their get statements earlier today. And part of their get statement, I didn't know that they had done this. They said, hopefully I will receive. And I go, hopefully, what in the world? No, you make the statement, you plant it, and allow it to happen, because you're making it so real that you can see it, taste it, and feel it. But by doing these get statements, we are reprogramming the reticular cells in our brains. And that's where we'll start to see those opportunities and connections for us to be able to actually see the path to that result. And so the power of get statements is something I created about 30 years ago, but it is my 9th book. So
see, I knew I would get that in there. The power of the get statements are quite impressive. And I'm a terrible student when it came to the get statements, because I only wrote down about 3. But all 3 of them came true. So that's the other thing of the power of the get statement. I wanted to be able to recite them in my head without looking at them. I needed to know them. And so I had 3 because the 3 stuck out so well in my head. And so I would repeat it to myself throughout the day. I just always would say it. And so many of them, they just popped up so fast. I'm like, okay, well, I'll stick with 3. So 3 is my magic number with get statements, because that's what my brain, well, I've got a brain injury. Maybe that's why. That's what retains. And that's what I bring. It's almost like I walk in it as it already exists, because I say it so often. I'm like, oh, I'm in it already. And I think that's a lot of the power of that, of the get statement, is you ingrain it in that. It's like, I don't know, I'm walking in the ocean. Well, actually, I am walking in the ocean. And that's kind of how it felt like. I'm in it. I'm just waiting for the universe to catch up with me.
Well, and what we do to actually ingrain it into the reticular cells is I have you write it out exactly the same way every single day. So as you write it, you are seeing it. Writing it is the kinesthetic, and when we see it on the piece of paper, we speak to ourselves. So we're actually doing all 3 ways of how we teach ourselves or learn, is the auditory, visual, and the kinesthetic. And that's why it really happens so quickly. And I want to say this too. It's not a get rich quick. It is not a magic bean, a magic pill. But I know. But I will say this. You don't even have to believe about the get statement that they work. All you have to do is do it, and you'll see the magic happen. Because I have a lot of clients that don't believe, but they're willing to do it. And then they call me and they go, oh, golly, you're right again. Stop it. And but it's not about being right. It's about allowing people to achieve those things in their lives that they truly desire. And sometimes the things that you decide that you want to have as a get statement or as a result, you start getting close to it, and it doesn't mean anything to you anymore. You have the ability to change your mind.
Mm-hmm. You can adjust. And I'm a doodler, so I always have like Post-it notes, little pieces of paper. And so I would draw half of my get statements. They were in images more than words, but it was very consistent for me. And that works really well for me. But I love the power of the get statement. And I encourage all of you, if you get to it, get that book or get onto the virtual conference and attend, because it will shift your life. It will. And you will find new things about yourself that you didn't quite know were there. It's quite interesting. And then all the different guest speakers that he has come on stage and share their gifts and their talents. It's more than just one person standing there and talking for days and days and days. There are other people that come on and share, and you're like, ooh, okay, that resonates with me. Ooh, I like that. And it's quite the experience. Now, Gary, again, don't leave me. I'm taking a break, and we're going to have a commercial. And then when we come back, we'll finish up with some words of wisdom from Mr. Gary Barnes and what's coming up next in the future. Okay. Well, welcome back. The TNC shows are live streamed to help you see the new you. The following times I'm providing you are all in Philippine time. Notable personalities and their stories on The Big Picture, Mondays through Friday at 7 p.m. Human Resource and Management on HR Hotline, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 noon. The Family Business is Everyone's Business, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Success Stories on The Fourth Project, Saturdays at 6 p.m. Dubai, 10 p.m. Philippines. Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive news on COVID stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Turnaround Stories at U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. The Home Buyer Guides You to Property, Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Laugh and learn from the Puppet Stories on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. TNC Marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Your Rights, Your Law, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Money and More, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippines, 5:30 a.m. United States. The stage is yours. TNC The Talk, Mondays at noon. Chill and Booze After Shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Strategize and win in life through Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Dream, Achieve, Nurture, and Inspire, Donnie Art Show, Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Learn Together Across the Borders, Foreign Affairs, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Health is Wealth on Healthline, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work, 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Have an awesome day, Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Cybersecurity is Key on CyberNext, Wednesdays at noon. Emerging in Practical Technologies, Tech U on Fridays, 2:30 p.m. Learn from the market leader, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Well Home Brings a Well Life, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. Coping and Coupling, Couple Goals, Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Listen to This Generation on The Millennial Voice, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. The journey continues with Moving On Business, Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. And catch our original shows, One Day, TNC Arena, TNC Press Con, and TNC Town Hall, Saturdays at 7 p.m., co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple. Town Hall is where we talk to you, our valued audience. Last but not least, and it's never too late for a mental shift, which you're watching right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. United States time, Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Philippine time. So thank you for joining me on Mental Shift today. For more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNCNow on Facebook and YouTube and allow your passion to inspire you. And together, let's hashtag see the new you. And welcome back. Where's my friend Gary? We lost him.
I'm here.
Thank you for staying on Mental Shift with Michelle Mras.
It's my pleasure. It really is. It's a lot of fun. We always have a great time.
We really do. I mean, I think the first time I met you, Gary, one of your attendees at a boot camp said I needed to meet you. And then we said, okay, we'll get on a 10-minute call. We got on a 10-minute call, which turned out to how long? I think like maybe 2 hours.
At least. I think it was actually longer than 2 hours.
And it was like, where have you been all my life? I think I've known you all my life. It was that we clicked that well and we had so much fun together. Yeah. And I think that when you reach out to Gary and attend that boot camp that he has coming up this weekend, you will also feel that click. You will feel the realness of Gary and realize that he's not out there just to be out there. He's out there for you, for me. And for those of us who want to grow to another level. And that's why I wanted him to come on to the show, because he's a special man and he's got words of wisdom and advice that, really need to be shared. And it should not just be in the several countries. I think it should be worldwide. So here you are. Now, welcome to the Philippines.
Yes, absolutely. It's, the world has shrunk because we are able to do this and to have an international impact. And, as you were just describing the boot camp and our relationship, the thing that struck me was we have a common theme is that if Michelle can do it, if Gary can do it, you can do it. The concept of celebrity is about how I am different from, not better than. And, we want to be not only just relatable, but transferable so that you can take pieces of who we are, what we have, and to be able to duplicate it into your world and to make your world better. Because it's very much like a tag team. And where Michelle and I have the ability to touch a certain number of people, when we touch those individuals, if they choose to, now they're touching others that Michelle and I will never have the opportunity to. And so we're really having a much bigger impact as well. And something I wanted to just mention too, if anyone is interested in the book, the best way is to go to Amazon. And that would be the quickest, fastest way, particularly if you're in another country. So, like the Philippines.
Yeah, well, we have to think about that because I don't know if the Philippines has access to the United States Amazon because there's multiple Amazons. So when I was speaking in India, that was what my problem was, is my book was on Amazon, but it's not Amazon India.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But if not, we'll know what's going on. We'll figure it out eventually. The other thing I wanted to share with you is, Gary, I know you have some word of wisdom that you'd like to share that we can end our show with so that we can have people ponder on what's next, or what would you like to share? What came into your heart?
There are sayings that I have that my clients and participants have heard so many times, they now call them Garyisms.
Yes.
And the one that is sticking out for me right now is actually behind me at my office where I wanted to be tonight. But what that Garyism is, are you a participant or are you a spectator? It's your choice. See, leaders lead. People that have opportunities that are seemingly given to them. I was describing with Michelle, she has been saying yes her entire life. I have been saying yes, but we have worked through the barriers of not feeling qualified, not feeling like we deserve, not feeling like we were what I call born in the lucky sperm club, to where it wasn't on the right side of the tracks. But it truly is, are you a participant or are you a spectator? It's your choice. And that was asked to me in a dream by none other than oh golly, I'm forgetting his name.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. And, it was a dream. I woke up, I thought I was living the dream. But what it was in reality is I was creating the dream, but I wasn't participating in the dream. And so that's, my encouragement to everyone that is watching is follow your heart, follow your intuition. What is it that you really want to create? Step out. And as Nike says, just do it.
I love it. And I can hear Darth Vader. Are you a participant or a spectator? Your choice. Like Luke, I'm your father.
That's right.
It's like, sir, yes, sir. I am a participant. I am not sitting on the sides. I will play and I will play well. And that's really a lot of what happens with the world. You can either sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else play and then wish and hope and regret what you didn't do. Or you can jump in and kick the ball or catch the ball or do whatever it is with that ball. Just be there on the field. Play. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fall? You fell a lot when you were a kid, right? It's okay to fall. Get back up, play the game, and then play your own game. Gary and I like to make up our own rules, right?
That's right.
In life, make up your own rules if you have to. If they don't fit you, start making changes happen for you.
And here's one last thing.
Yeah.
Please have permission. Give yourself permission to receive. It's there for you. Take it, enjoy it, and pass it on.
Oh, and that's huge. That was one of the things many of us had issues with was, one, I'm not worthy, and two, I can't. Why? I can't. Why? Give yourself permission to do. I know it sounds like a simple thing, but if you think about it, it's kind of scary, and it's okay. We give you permission to do whatever you want. It's up to you. Make your own choices. Now, Gary, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. And one day we'll be able to meet again when COVID lifts and the snow stops falling and there's not ice all over the ground in Colorado. We can meet up again. But I truly am thankful and blessed that you have entered my world and that we've been friends for 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say 20, but I'm pretty sure it's only been about 2.5 years. But thank you so much for joining me on Mental Shift and sharing the blessings and the lessons that you have, and that you're opening this virtual conference that my listeners overseas can listen to and join in and go to you said there was a direct link,
breakthroughbusinessmastery.com.
breakthroughbusinessmastery.com. Get onto the virtual and see Gary and the gang in action. And one day maybe we can meet in person, and that would be awesome. So Gary, thank you so much for joining me. And I appreciate your time, and I love you dearly. And I can't wait to have more boot camps and see you grow and see all the people around you in your world that grow with you and around you. And I think to be one of them. So everyone in the United States, good night. And to all of you in the Philippines, have a wonderful day. Thank you again for joining me, Michelle Mras, on Mental Shift on TNC. Please join me again this coming Thursday in America, on Friday at 10:30 a.m. in the Philippines. So Tuesday, Thursday in America, Wednesday, Friday in the Philippines, 10:30 a.m. So until then, ta-ta, TTFN. See you on Thursday. Good night.